More and more people are shopping on Amazon. 52% of all product-based searches begin on Amazon, certainly on Amazon.com anyway. But that means 52% there, 48% happen somewhere else. Where are most of those searches happening? Well, turns out most other searches happen on Google. So it begs the question, how do you get your Amazon products to show up in the Google search results? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you. Now, if you like this kind of information where I'm helping you make more money online, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. That way I will know that you want more content like this. Also consider subscribe to my YouTube channel, post brand new money making information just like this each and every day. And if you've got any questions, comment below and I'll answer them personally for you. With that being said, let's get into it. I'm going to use an analogy. The analogy is going to be a library with books in it and a customer wanting to rent a particular book. Okay, so books, library, books are websites, library is Google, and the person searching for a book, well, that's your customer, or indeed you, if you go along to Google and do a search, okay? So that's our cast of characters. All right, so let's kind of walk this through. Step number one. Well, what happens first is a customer, potential customer, they go to Google and they type something into Google for a search. Now, this is exactly the same as somebody walking into their local library, walking up to the person sitting on the library counter and saying, hey, I want to rent or loan a book all about dragons, for instance. Okay, I want to rent or loan a book all about dragons. It's exactly the same principle. So now the librarian has to kind of think to themselves, well, what sort of dragon book do they want? What's going to be most suitable for this particular person to loan out? Okay, so that's now what the librarian's thinking. It's also exactly what Google thinks. It's also exactly what Google thinks. What's going to be the most suitable website that this person wants to have a look at? So now they've got to decide that for themselves. And the way they work that out is they start to think about what's going to work best for that particular user. So here's how they prepare the search results, or how the librarian makes decisions about what books to show you that you might be interested in. First thing they're going to do is they'll look at the different books in the library. Here's a book. Here's the title of the book. This one just happens to be called Exponential. Really good book, by the way. Exponential is the title of the book. Okay, so dragon does not appear in the title of the book, so this wouldn't be a particularly good choice, but they look at that, they say, does the word dragon appear in the title of the book? Does it appear in any of the chapter titles? So in the contents of the book, hopefully you guys can see that. Does the word dragon appear in any of the chapter titles? That's what the next thing you look at. So this is in hierarchy as well, by the way. And then how many times does the word dragon appear within the text that's written in the book? Okay, so that's the first set of parameters that our librarian looks at. It's also what Google looks at in a second, and I'll show you how in just a minute. Second set of parameters. How many other books cite this book as a reference? So now they'll go and look at all the other books in the library and see which books cite this book as a reference source. So, you know, in the back of the books, they've got their bibliography. Well, how many other books cite this book as a reference in the bibliography? Okay, next. Thing is, Google then shows these results to you. Okay, so they give you what's called a search engine results page, or SERPs for short. Okay, they'll give you the SERPs back, and they attach different weights, different importance to those parameters that I've outlined for you. And then there's a kind of mixing up of that. And what they're trying to do is on the first page of the SERPs, they try and give you a good blend of possible things that you might be interested in. Okay, that's what they're trying to do. That's a very, very important consideration, a good blend of things. Okay, dragons is our keyword or our search term. Okay, that's what that means within this context. So our first set of parameters, the book title, that's what's called the page title of your web page. Okay, so you've got a website, great, but your page on your website is treated differently by Google. And so that's an important consideration. Your page title gets the most weight within the search engine rankings. Okay, so what you call your page is very, very important. Next, your chapter titles, well, they're called your H1 and H2 tags. That's a H1 tag right there. It's written, it's a much larger thing, and you can see that's kind of like stands out. And so when that was written, it was put within H1 tags, for instance. Next, the book mentions, well, that's mentions within the content of that particular page. So on the website page, how often does the word dragon appear on that page? Okay, that's important. So all of those things are all influenceable really easily by you. Okay, so you can control what your page title says. You can control your H1, H2 tags. You can control how often the word dragon is in the body text. That's all very, very easy for you to control. Okay, so onwards. Second set of parameters that Google then looks at. It now starts looking at so citations by other books. Well, they're called backlinks. So how many other websites have got a link on their website back to your website? Okay, that's important. Their backlinks are important. Okay, and of course, what is the credibility of those websites that are linking back to you and your web page? Just like the difference between a dragon expert who's got a PhD in dragonology, I don't even know if that exists, and my mum saying, you know, oh, you should read this book on dragons, it's really, really good. Okay, clearly they're different things. Okay, then there's their recommendations within the book. Well, they're called do follow backlinks. So if I say on this website over here, hey, you should go and check out this web page over here, they've got some really cool stuff on dragons, and I put a link there, and it's what's called a do follow link, then I am saying I believe so much in this web page all about dragons that I'm prepared to put my reputation on the line about it. Okay, that's how Google considers it. Okay, so these are all off-page factors. Off-page factors. Again, you can absolutely influence these as well. Okay, so let's tie it all up. How the hell do you get your product to show up on Google? Well, the easiest way to do it, is to find a search term that is relevant to your product, but a lot of people are searching for on Google as well. And then write articles about your product in such a way that you've got the title of the article is your main search term that you're trying to rank for. And then within the copy, the body copy of the article, your chapter pages, H1 tags are all about dragons, for instance, and then you put dragons within the article body as well, okay? And then you distribute it by telling people about it. Probably the easiest way to distribute an article is by putting it all over social media, which is why I get you to do all the social media stuff as well when you're setting up your business too, okay? That's probably the easiest way of doing it. PR pieces, they're also important, things like that, okay? And then from that, hopefully, if you write a very good article, you'll get people giving you backlinks where they say, hey, you should go and check out this particular article because this particular person knows what they're talking about. That was a video from my regular Monday night Q&A with the members of the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs. We are the fastest growing community of e-commerce entrepreneurs here in Australia. 2,500 members and growing, with sales, by the way, of over $50 million. If you'd like to find out more about what we do, then get yourself off to www.aussieonlineentrepreneurs.com.au, or you can just Google Aussie Online Entrepreneurs and you'll find us that way too. With that being said, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.